Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Model Fix. My name is Dan and today we are modding. Today we're going to be putting Honda S2000 seats in my MR2 Roadster. For anyone who knows about this modification, it's been done quite a bit and the seats are lighter. They've got more padding, they sit a little bit higher, which is better for me. The reason I'm doing it is because the standard seats, I just get leg ache when I do long journeys in the car. So yeah, we're gonna swap them out. I'll show you what's involved and let's get on with it, I guess. Okay, step one, get the roof down, get the windows down, make sure you've got plenty of space to work. So try and do this on a sunny day if you can. And then remove your old seat. So the MR2 seats, you've got, let me just show you here. So you've got 14 there, 14 on the other side, and then just tilt the seat forward. You've got a 14 down here against the side, and there's one under here. If I can take it off one-handed, there we go. So there's one under that cover, so there's 14 there. So take those 4 bolts out, and there's a little electrical connection for the airbag stroke seatbelt tensioner, I think. So let me get there and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so the seat's been lifted up. I've just tilted it forwards, and as you can see, you've got this little electrical connector here for the sensor or the airbag or whatever it is. So just pull that out, and out that comes. And there we go, guys. Seat's out of the car, and as if by magic, here's the S2000 seat. So the first thing you need to do is you need to unbolt this guy here and exchange it with this guy here. And as you can see, I've already taken the cable out, but the connection's exactly the same as it is in the MR2. So you need to unbolt that. So that's a 14mm bolt there, and you need to undo this cover, but I'll undo that in a minute and I'll show you what's under there. So you've got to undo this screw here. It's a little Phillips head one. So just undo that. Okay. So that feels like it's already out. Very small, look at that, tiny. So unclip this then, I think. Unclip the back of it here, so just pull it this way. And then what you'll see in this bit here is, see that there? Yeah, this little hole, that actually clips. I'll pull it out and I'll show you. Onto that metal hook there. So what you have to do is get a screwdriver from behind and just lever it that way and then pull it up. You might just want to scope out where the cable goes. So as you can see, it goes under, through there, down there, cable tied here, so I'll have to cut that. And then there's a little clippy here that I'll have to undo. Let's see if we can do that now. That's well in there, that is. I'm going to try and not break it, but no promises. There we go. So that's what that clippy looks like. You need a good solid trim removal tool like this one, otherwise you're going to have a job doing that. And then see this here, it's just going to cut that with some side cutters, if I can get on it. There we go, that's done. Yeah, so that cable's free now, and as you can see, that cable goes through there, behind here, and then up here. Been lucky so far, everything's 14mm, so buzz that out. Okay, she's gone. So that's done. It's undone now, and I'll just, there we go. So you just feed that wire through there. Ideally without breaking it, and there we go, one seatbelt holder with the plug. So I'm just going to do the same now on the S2000 seat. So this bolt here, the S2000 seat, I haven't tilted this one because I've already undone the cable from underneath. There's just that little fastener there which fastens into the bottom of the seat. Okay, and then what you need to do is feed that through as we did before. Okay, so that's out. Now set that aside. A few differences to note on this. The S2000 belt clip, or whatever you want to call it, has this little locator which goes in that hole, and then it also has all these shims and a little washer on the end. You're going to have to take all those off and use them on yours, because the MR2 one doesn't have all of that, and I'd use the original bolt as well. So use the shims and the bolt at the MR2 stuff. Now, first of all, I'm just going to thread this through. So if we just thread that through the hole, can't. Okay, well, if you post it down that end and then push it through, there you go. It's just a nice little trick that I learnt on the fly right now. So you still have to try and get it, thread it the right direction, because at the moment it ain't going in the right direction. So it's a bit of a faff, but there we go. So that's gone down the right hole now. Now we just got to set this up. So the wire is always going to be on the inside, so remember that. And then this goes on the outside there. All these shims and stuff and spacers go on the inside here. And then back in the hole. Tighten that. Might just give that a bit more of a crank with the old ratchet. Okay, right, so that's in. Okay. I'm just going to cable tie that down here. Okay, so a lot of people say that the S2000 seats are a lot lighter than the MR2 seats. I don't think anyone's ever weighed them and done a direct comparison, so I'm going to do just that with my luggage scales here. I don't think I'm going to be able to film and lift it at the same time, so I'll take pictures and I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so next thing to note is the angle of the rail fitting on the MR2 seat and the angle of them on the S2000 seat. So as you can see, the angle's a lot more sharp. This one's been mucked around with. I don't know if someone's sat on it on the floor or what, and it looks like someone's ground away a bit of it there as well. Maybe they tried to fit it in a different car, I don't know. But yeah, so we need to get that similar to that. The other thing to note is the holes in the MR2 seats are a lot bigger. If you look at that, and then you look at this one, small. So I'm going to get a step down drill and just hone those holes out a little bit. So I tried the 14mm bolts in the rail of this S2000 seat, and guess what, it went through the hole, so I didn't actually have to hone them out. So I thought I'd just offer up the seat and see if the bolts go in the holes, and they bloody do. I think you should leave the front holes as they are. I'm not sure if these are AP1 or AP2 or what. I think they're AP1. They look old and tatty enough to be, but yeah, front bolts, just put them straight in. So put the furthest one away, that one in nice and loose first, then get this one in the hole and then tighten them both up. Okay, so this is the situation at the back now. So this baby here needs either a bit of angle iron, which I think I'm going to be doing, from here to here. So if you get, say, I'll measure it in a minute, but I think probably 60mm or 75mm angle iron. Drill a hole in it there, drill a hole in it for that, put a little spacer underneath. I think a spacer is required, or a bolt even might do the job. and then nut and bolt there and there. You can, on Spyder Chat there's actually a thread about this, and what they've done is reused the L bracket, if you like, of the MR2 seat. I'm not keen on that idea because I think it cuts a bit short there, so I don't think it holds very well. The other option is to bolt it down to the floor. Some people have done that, drill a hole through here, through the floor, and there's some square brackets you can get, which should be on the screen now, cheap enough. And if you put one underneath and then one underneath the car and sandwich them and then put a nut and bolt through, that could probably work. But yeah, I'm going to do the angle iron option, but I need to measure that first. Now on this side here, we've missed the hole by quite a bit. I think here we might have to either elongate the hole or drill a new hole in there. So let me measure that and I'll let you guys know what the score is. What we've got to do is, you can see the hole here, and then this is the hole here. So what we want to do is we want to try and get the center of that hole. Doing a bit of a balancing act here, but so that's the center of the hole. Yeah. Then what we need to do is get a hole punch and the old persuader, and then just say that's the center there. Can't do it, the camera's in the way. Okay, and I don't know if you can see that, there's a hole right there just above my thumb. Just quickly measure how big this hole is with the cone drill, where it's stopped. So it's stopped at that 12 mil, so let's drill that out. Alright guys, I drilled that hole out and I managed to get it. Pretty much spot on, so just gonna wiggle it about a bit now. Get the bolt in there. Tell you what, it's hard doing this one-handed. Okay, so that's 3 of them down. As you can see, that's a separate hole, yeah, so I think that's pretty safe. And just that one to go now. I'm gonna take a few measurements. So I think we need about a 75 mil angle iron to get full coverage of that rail. 75 there as well, won't do it any harm. Be nice and solid. If anybody's thinking at this point that you've got 3 bolts in the holes, you should be able to drive like that, it should be fine. Think again, because look at this. Look at the movement on that seat. So that one last bolt's going to make a big difference. Alright guys, it's about 3 days later now. So I got this lovely stuff here. It's 75 by 75 mil, that is, and it's 6 mil thick, so nice and juicy. This is 30 centimeters in length. Cost me about a tenner on eBay. So cut that in half and I'll have 250 mil bits. It was quite a hard cut actually. Angle grinder with a cutting blade. I've hit a bit of a snag, to be honest. This angle iron is exactly 90 degrees, and as you can see there, the tunnel sort of slants upwards. So if we had that flat against the tunnel, it's going to lift off the floor that much. So yeah, let's drill the holes where we need them, etc., and then see where we get to. I've got my marks for the holes and the plates in position, so I'm going to drill those holes out. I think 12 mil holes, and then let's try it for size. We've got the holes drilled. That took some bloody drilling, that did. So as you can see, that one kind of lines up, but it needs to be a bit more tilted, and that one does line up, so nut and bolt job on that. So what I'm thinking now is to do away with most of this here, cut that out there, and then do away with most of this here, cut that out there, and then we'll try and bend it if we can somehow. So that's the idea. After some cutting and grinding, I've got something that looks a bit more like a bracket rather than a piece of angle iron. So I just cut off all the excess metal that I don't need. It is quite heavy as it's 6 mil. And then as you can see here, this hole was a bit too high. I marked it out wrong, so I had to mark out another hole, and the bolt actually pretty much sits in the middle. As you can see, that circle there is the head of the bolt. So now I'm just going to make another one of these. As this is going to be a mirror image of the other side, best way to do this is mark it out like that and then flip it over and mark it out like that. So I've mirror imaged the other bracket, marked out the holes. So now it's just a matter of cutting it out. As if by magic, we have a twin brother. So that's done now. That one came out quite nice actually, because I measured everything nice. That one was sort of done as I went along, so it's not as pretty as this one. So that's come out pretty cool. I'm going to try fit it up to the car now, and on the passenger side, and see if it wants to fit. And if it does, then we're good. Otherwise I might have to adjust the holes again. Don't really want to have to do that, but let's hope it's correct. I mean, if you look at that, and you look at that, that is actually in the middle of those two holes. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, so hopefully it'll fit just fine. Okay guys, we are all done, and that worked first time for the holes. And look at the movement on the seat, absolutely zero, so that's really good. My only concern is that it lives a little bit high off the floor and it's a bit stiff to go back and forth, so I might try and bend that at some point with a bit of heat or something. I'll have to work that out, but for now we've done a good job. I think I'm happy with it. There we go, solid as a rock. Same for the driver's side, so that's all bolted up now as well. And I used some M10 nuts and bolts, flanged, stainless steel bolt, mild steel nut. I think I might paint those brackets black just to protect them a little bit and make them less inconspicuous. But yes, that's the driver's seat, solid in there as well, and that's job done.